I will show you a neat trick that can solve the colored cells and easily crack this 17-digit Sudoku puzzle. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go, and with that, it's solving time. Look over here in block 6. You have this one cutting across row 5. You have this one coming down right here. And so there's only 2 places for a 1 in block 6. And I'm going to mark that. This is called Snyder notation. Anytime in a 3x3 block, you have 2 possibilities for a candidate, you mark it. And in case you solve one of the cells, we can solve the other right away. The other thing it's going to help us do is it's going to be a pointing pair. Since they're in the same column, you can see that the 1 cannot be anywhere else outside the block in that column. You cannot put a 1 in any of these spots. Otherwise, you have no place to put a 1 in block 6. And so that leaves the ones at just these 2 spots in block 9. And so we'll mark that. Let's look at what the 4s can be over here. We're going to keep our focus here on block 6. You have a 4 right there. You have a 4 right there. And you have a 4 coming down right here. So this is going to allow us to solve for a 4 right there, displacing that Snyder 1. And now with these 2 4s and this 4, we can solve for a 4 right here, displacing the Snyder 1 again. And then keep on going here with these 4s and this 4, we can solve for a 4 right here. And with these 2 4s and this 4, actually, we can go over here with these 4s, and let's just solve this 4 right here. Don't have to make any extra marks. And now with all 4 4s pointing into block 2, we can solve the last remaining 4. Greetings, friend. If you're new, welcome to Smart Hobbies. Subscribe, tap that bell for notifications if you want to turn your passing interest in Sudoku into a fun and enjoyable hobby. Today, you will get a fun trick that can easily crack 17-digit Sudoku puzzles. I've been featuring 17-digit, which is the minimum number of cells in a starting grid for a classic Sudoku, each Friday this month. All right, let's look in block 3 and check out the 5s. You got a 5 here, and you got a 5 there. We're working our way to that nice trick. We haven't gotten to it yet. We're just going to do some Snyder notation and some simple solving to kind of get more information about this puzzle until the point where it gets a little bit trickier. Okay, and then with these 2 5s, we have 2 possibilities for 5 in block 2, and then we have 2 possibilities now for a 5 in block 9. All right, let's look up here in block 3. You'll see you have this 8 and 9 right there. You'll notice how the 8 and 9 come right up column 7. What it means is the 8 and 9 have to be somewhere here in block 3, but they can't be in any of these 3 spots. There's only 2 remaining. So we know the 8 and 9 both have to be in this spot. This is a hidden pair, and hidden pairs are very helpful in 17-digit Sudokus because they help put 2 digits in 2 spaces and kind of shrink the grid a little bit and give you some more to solve. And then what it leaves for us is this naked triple. I'm going to highlight this because this is helpful for us. Not only is it a naked triple of a 2, 6, and 7, it's also going to be a lock triple because it's in the same column and in the same block. Lock means that it belongs to 2 different Sudoku houses. And so we can mark this 2, 6, 7. We already know that's a 2 right there, and we already know this is a 6 in row 3. And so what it does is it allows us to solve this cell now, right? Because these 3 digits are 2, 6, 7. The only thing remaining is a 3. So we can solve that for a 3. I cover naked triples and the other most common strategies in my Sudoku solving guide. What this means to you is you can learn how to solve over 80% of all the puzzles you'll ever see. Click on the pinned comment to download the guide for free and start sharpening your skills and your mind. And you want a sharp mind, right? All right, let's get rid of these colors for the naked triple. Let's look where a 3 can be. Now with this 3, it looks like we have a 3, 5 hidden pair right there in block 9. And then let's start looking at where the 1s can go. Okay, you got this one cutting across and this one coming down. We can solve for a 1 right here. And then with these 2 1s and this one, we can solve for 1 right here, displacing that Snyder 5. We're getting to the trick here. We just got a few more cells to solve. Okay, and now with these 2 1s, we can solve for a 1 right there. And then with these 2 1s and this one, solve for a 1 here. and the last remaining one in block 7 is right there. Let's look at the 2's. Can we solve for a 2 in block 6? We sure can. We can solve for 2 right here, and then we can look in block 3 in row 3, all right? Because what you have here is you have a 2 cutting across right there, 2 possibilities for a 2. It's a pointing pair of 2's. And so the 2's can't be anywhere else along row 1. They can't be here because of this 2, but now they can't be here anymore. Otherwise, no place to put a 2 up there. And so we can now solve this cell for a 2. And you'll notice with the way the 3 goes, we actually have another hidden pair of 2, 3. And so I'll mark that as well. What else can we do with the 2's? Well, we can come down here and note that we have 2 cells remaining here, a 3 and a 7. Okay, so we can mark the 3 and the 7 right there. And then let's look right here in our green cell. And we can solve this green cell. You'll notice you have a 1, 2, a 3 as a part of this naked pair, 4, 5, and we have a 7 as part of the naked pair. What we need is a 6, 8, and a 9. Well, since you have the 6 and the 8 right there, and then the 7 part of this naked pair, we can solve this cell. This has to be your 9. And this is part of the trick. When you can find something like a naked pair right here, it will remove possibilities for cells up there. So we can solve that right now for a 9. And this is going to be a 6, 8. And what that does here is this naked pair acts as a pointing pair. And these are the nice little tricks that will help you solve these 17-digit Sudokus. I've showed you hidden pairs before. I've showed you pointing pairs, and we'll use those. But it's the naked pair that really stands out in this particular puzzle. As you'll see now, we can solve this for a 7 and solve this for a 6. And then we have a 7, 8, 9 across here. And because of this 7, that's going to be just an 8 or a 9. Give me a thumbs up if you saw this 9 when solving, and leave a comment. Anything you found a little interesting, a little bit different about this puzzle, I would love to hear from you, and I answer all of the comments. All right. Now, let's look at where the 5's can be here in block 4. Well, we got this 5 right here. Got this 5 coming down, so we have possibilities for 5 right here. And this is going to be a cool little trick. You might not think we can solve for a 5 down here, but we can solve very well here, because we're going to have this pointing pair right here, and then this 5 comes down and creates another pointing pair of 5s. And so what can we do with this pointing pair of 5s? Well, we can solve right here and disambiguate the 3 and the 5, and that's our 3 in the corner. Dun, dun, dun. And so now with this 5, this pointing pair of 5s, 5s can't be here, they can't be here, and this pointing pair of 5s, a 5 can't be here, and because of this 5, it can't be here. You can actually solve for a 5 in block 7. Very cool. And if you see value in some of these tricks that I'm showing you, consider buying me a coffee. Or better yet, just click on the super thanks in YouTube. I'd really appreciate it. All right, after doing all those 5s, we can look up here in block 3, and we're going to be able to solve this. And how are we going to be able to solve that? It's because you only have 3 digits remaining here, right? We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an 8. We now have a 6, 7, 9 naked triple. And with this 7, that can't be a 7 anymore. And a naked triple, that's a locked triple. In this case, it's in the block and the column, acts as a pointing triple as well. So we know we can't put a 9 there, or we'd run out of digits to place in block 6. So this has got to be your 8 now, and that's going to be your 9. And then down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have 6, 7, and an 8. I'll mark that because of this 8. We can remove the 8 from there, and because of the 6, we can move the 6 from there. Now let's check out what this 8's doing. It comes across right here. This 8 comes up here. There's only 2 possibilities for an 8 in block 5, and it's a pointing pair. This pointing pair is going to allow us to solve the 6 and the 8 right there. Okay, and now with these 2 6s, we can solve for a 6 right here, allow us to solve this cell for a 9. And then we can remove the 9 and give us a 6, 7 naked pair. And now what you might see is this 9 cuts across and 9 comes down. We actually can put the 9s in the same spot as the 8s. And so whenever you have the 8s and 9s at Snyder rotation on top of each other, that is going to be another hidden pair. And this is going to give us some great restrictions in what we can do with this puzzle. Because you'll notice that the 7 cuts across here. The 7s are in one of these spots. And we can mark that. And then what we can look at is where the 2s can go. Since you have a 2 here, you have this 2 cutting across. The 2s are a pointing pair in block 5. So a 2 can't be here anymore, and it can't be here anymore. And with this 2, 2's got to be in one of those spots. Okay? And then with this 3 cutting across, what you might notice is you have a pointing pair of 3s now in block 8. And this is beautiful because this pointing pair of 3s comes up here and disambiguates the 7 and the 3. We're still going to get to that red cell. It's going to be using our wonderful trick. But right now, we're still just going to keep chipping away and make more progress in this puzzle. And now with this 3 here, the 8, 9 there, we only need a 5 or a 7. Well, this is our 7, so that has to be your 5. And that's going to be your 7, displacing that Snyder 5. And then this 5 will displace this 5, and we mark a 5 right there in block 4. All right. And then we got here a 2 and a 3 in row 6. And now we're going to see the neat trick that's going to help us solve the rest of this puzzle. It's going to be a little more difficult to get any more digits solved here unless you find this. Notice right here, we have 2, 3 in row 1 and 2, 3 in row 6, both in column 1. So this becomes a naked pair. It's outside of the block, but really a 2 and 3 either has got to be here or here. The 2's got to be there and the 3 would be there, or vice versa. This is a conjugate pair of the 2 and the 3. And we can use that to eliminate 2, 3 from every other digit in column 1. And so this would leave this with a 6, 8, 9 right there. And because of the 6, this would be a 7, 8, 9. And because of the 8, 9, this would be a 6, 7. And you might think, all right, this naked pair, not that such of a big deal. It did help us make some restrictions here. What is a big deal is how we can apply it to another column. So we got to look for another naked pair. First of all, let's look across row 5 here, right? And look in block 5. We have a 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. We need a 2, 3, 7. Well, I got a 2, 3 right here. This now has to be a 7, which gives us a 6 here and a 7 right there. And so we can displace that Snyder 7, and we have a 2, 3 right there in row 4. So now in row 5, what do we have? An 8, 9 remaining. So this has got to be an 8, 9. And so what we have here is another naked pair. All right, so you got the 8, 9 here, you got an 8, 9 there. What could this cell be? Can't be a 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6. Could be a 3, 8, or 9. It can't be a 7 because the 7 right there. But now with this naked pair, 8 and 9, we know an 8, 9 can't be anywhere else along column 2. So this is how we solve the red cell. We can remove the 8 and 9 from right there. And you can learn more about the power of naked pairs in this tutorial. And so what this does for us is it allows us to solve this cell for a 3. Displacing this 3, solving this cell for a 3, displacing that Snyder 2. Okay, and we have one digit left, a 9 in block 8. And now we can see what do make a little bit more solving here. You gotta find this naked pair if you want to finish this puzzle strong. What can we do from here? All right, we're going to look. We got a 6, 7 here and a 6, 7, another naked pair. So we know this has got to be the only remaining digit. So this is going to be a 2, which allows us to disambiguate the 3, 2 up there. And now with these 3s, we know this is going to be a 3. That's going to be a 2. That's going to be a 3. Looking good. Let's keep on doing some solving here. What do we need across the bottom? With this 7, you can actually remove that 7 already. And what we have is a 6, 8, and a 9. Well, we have this 8, 9 right here. That naked pair is going to help us solve this for a 6. All right, allows us to solve the 8 here, the 7 there, and the 6 right there. So we can solve this for 7, solve this for an 8. All right, I don't see a 9 in block 7, so I'm going to solve that for a 9. And then with this 7, you can remove the 7 from there, allow us to solve for 7 in block 1. All right, where we go from here? We have a full house. So we know with certainty we can solve this cell for an 8, which gives us a 9 here, an 8 right there. We got a 9 right there. And then we can solve the 8 and 9 right here. And with this 8 and 9, we know this is going to be a 6. And our last digit is a 2. See if you can spot the powerful pairs trick in this next video. Thank you so much for watching.